स्टोरी वर्ल्ड, किस्सों और कहानियों की दुनिया।
Hi friends, welcome to your own channel Story World. This is the first time I am attempting to tell a story in English. However, the plan in the longer run is to present these stories both in English and Hindi so as to reach the wider audiences. Today's story is called Pursuit of a Bhoot. Bhoot as in ghost. So let's start. Living in the valleys of mighty Himalayas has its own charm. And I spent 4 precious years of my life in the foothills of Himalayas studying what else? Engineering. My father still maintains that my college boasts of one of the most picturesque campuses in the country. He stayed there for 2 days and me for 4 years. However, my college was located in a small sleepy town which was still not as urbanized as many would want it to be. And expectedly, the avenues of entertainment were limited. Thus, once a group of first years were done with the charms of visiting the town, which were roaming freely on roads away from seniors, eating momos, samosas and jalebis, eyeing the beautiful local girls and watching movies in local video halls, they had no other options than to sit together and enjoy. One of the ways we used to pass our time was by sharing stories. Our favorite genre would invariably be horror. One of the interesting aspects of living in the foothills is that you will always be exposed to various legends about ghosts. The elders of the town would advise us against venturing out alone in dark. This was less to do with their fear of us being attacked by wild animals and more to do with their belief that supernatural elements do exist and would hurt someone if certain limits are crossed. We respected their concerns and at the same time were more than willing to explore the unexplored. This is not to suggest that I am a braveheart. I am not, and I never was. But at that time, there was a childlike curiosity to get to know more about the world of bhoots. So we would have many story sessions, especially after dark, that would entirely concentrate on the supernaturals. I now realize that if I compile all the stories that I have heard during my stay at the college, I can come up with an engrossing novel. This story, however, would not delve into any one of those stories. This account would just be a reflection of our immaturity, enthusiasm, and probably stupidity to some extent at that point in time. There was a soft knock on the door. I noticed it and ignored it. Who would want to come out of his quilt in the cold of a December night just to satisfy the muse of one of his wingies on his way to the toilet? Further, I was glued to a thriller novel and was at an interesting stage of the story. No way I am going to open this door, I thought. However, after a few moments, the intensity of the knock started to gain momentum and strength. I could hear my name being called and could sense some kind of urgency in their voices. My roommates, who were already fast asleep, were disturbed by this kind of sound and urged me to resolve the issues at the earliest so that they could sleep in peace. I had no other choice but to leave the comforts of the quilt. 3 of my batchmates, who were visibly excited, greeted me at the door. "We knew you would be awake," Toad said excitedly. Toad was the name given by us to a very endearing and animated character of our batch. "What's the matter?" "I think we have seen a ghost. We are going out to check," "Are you in?" said Ram. "Okay, but how do you know it's a ghost?" Arey, it was almost 10 feet tall, wearing an overcoat. We saw it from our window. Now don't waste time, we will miss it. It has gone towards the admin block. And that was it. The search party of 4 ran out of the hostel in order to look for a claimed Bhoot. We were moving in the direction of admin block and were looking at every possible turn where he could have slipped away in the darkness of the surrounding jungles. "Are you sure we are after a ghost?" I asked. 110%, said Ram. No human being can be that tall. Further, its movement was not characteristically human. Meaning? I mean, it seemed to be gliding in the air. "Ramu, you are out of your mind." "Maybe, but these two have also seen that." On this, the other two nodded in agreement. We had reached a dark corner. None of the next 3 street lights were working, and we weren't even carrying a torch. And suddenly, a sense of fear gripped all of us. "Should we go ahead?" I asked. There was apprehension in everyone's mind. "If we have come till here, then we'll go ahead as well," said Billa, the most daring of us all. So we moved ahead with a heady mix of excitement, fear, and thrill. As the light of the next streetlight came within reach, we took a sigh of relief. The pace has picked up and we were at the crossroad. One went towards the admin block, other towards library, while the last one meandered towards the computer science department. The one towards the library was not even lit properly. We decided to split. I chose the well-lit computer science road, but there was a catch. I had heard stories that the place next to it was haunted. The lit road was the only consolation. The other 3 split and went in the other 2 directions. After a brief search, we met back at the crossroad. None of us had any success in spotting the Bhoot. "We were so close in unraveling a long-standing mystery," said Ram. "All this for nothing," were the words of Toad. "At least we had fun," said Billa. As I came to the terms that the entire exploit was a wasted exercise, I realized that I was out in a cold December night with only a t-shirt to protect my upper half. The rush of adrenaline which kept me charged all this time was long gone, and I suddenly felt cold. I was shivering and Toad noticed it. He passed me his shawl and we made our way back to the hostel. I went to my room and found comfort in the warmth of my quilt. I did not touch that novel. The pursuit of the Bhoot gave me a high that would not be given by the thrill of any book. It was fun reliving an old incident. When I wrote this way back in 2010, one of my close friends advised me that I should have added some bit of dramatization to make the story more interesting. But I felt that this story should be told in its purest form only. And that's why even today when I recited this story, I retained the original format. Please do tell us, how do you like this story? It is also very important because this is the first time I am trying it in English. And if this story has reminded you of any other similar incidents, do let us know in the comment box. Thank you for your time.